If you had an ulcer and you wanted to know whether you had cancer, would you rather trust a doctor or a computer algorithm? And what does this have to do with investing? I'm going to show you. Human decisions are based on subjectivity, judgment, and gut instinct. On the other hand, purely systematic decisions are exclusively based on cold, hard statistical analysis of data. They have no emotion, no intuition, and no biases. Based on the findings of academic research spanning hundreds of studies over several decades, the evidence is very clear. Computer-driven, rules-based systems outperform humans, even experts. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples on why this is. So there's one study conducted, and what the researchers did is they went to a group of radiologists and they first asked them a question. They said, what is it you think are the most important things or factors that you look at to determine whether an ulcer is malignant or not? And they took the 4 things that the doctors cited as being most significant for diagnosing an ulcer, and they created a simple equal-weighted scoring system. And then what they did is they took a collection of x-rays of ulcers and they gave them to the doctors and asked the doctors to rank these ulcers on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being least likely to be malignant and 7 being most likely to be malignant. But they played a trick on the doctors. In many cases, they duplicated the same ulcer and didn't tell the doctor. So here's the bad news. The bad news is the doctors couldn't agree with each other. One doctor could rate an ulcer a 1 or a 2, and another doctor would rate it a 3 or a 4, and another doctor would rate the same ulcer a 6 or a 7. The really bad news is that they couldn't even agree with themselves. Remember the trick they played on the doctors. So a given doctor would rate an x-ray of an ulcer a 1 or a 2, and then given the exact same ulcer, he or she would rate it a 6 or a 7. But here's the good news. The simple scoring system, the equal-weighted scoring system based on the 4 variables that the doctors themselves had named as being most important for diagnostic purposes, not only outperformed the group of doctors as a whole on average, but outperformed the single most accurate doctor. So it wasn't even a close horse race. The algorithm crushed not only the doctors, but even the single best doctor. In 2000, a group of researchers conducted a meta-study. And a meta-study is a study of studies. In this case, it was a study of 136 different studies covering a wide variety of areas from academic achievement, university acceptance, career promotion, almost every area imaginable. And in each case, they gauged the accuracy of computer-driven rules-based models versus experts in those respective fields. And the results were overwhelming. It was a slaughter. The machine way outperformed the experts in pretty well every single area. The models equaled or beat the experts 94% of the time and beat the experts 46% of the time. The experts beat the models only 6% of the time. So there's a Central American saying that goes something like this. If you're at a party and someone tells you you're drunk and you feel fine, ignore them. If 10 people tell you you're drunk, lie down. So going back to the meta-study, the results are pervasive, consistent, and broad-based. When it comes to decision-making, algorithmically driven rules-based computer models almost always beat human decision-making. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, computer models are often lauded for what they can do that human beings cannot, which is the ability to analyze huge quantities of data with amazing speed and complexity. The other part of the advantage is what machines don't have that humans do. Humans are hardwired with emotions and cognitive biases that can impede or infiltrate their decision-making skills and cloud their judgment. It can cloud the judgment of even the most battle-hardened, experienced investors and impede their performance. Human beings are simply not designed for detached, rational decision-making. So algorithms win over humans, at least in part, because they don't fall prey to the litany of biases and emotions that humans do. The same inputs generate the same outputs every single time. Computers and algorithms don't get upset, they don't get bored, and they don't get angry. At Outcome, one of our mottos is, "In God we trust, all others bring data." In the battle of man versus machine, the machine usually wins. So if we're going to be smart humans, we have to be humble and acknowledge that there are often situations where our human intuitive judgment is simply not as good or as accurate as an algorithm or a rules-based systematic process. So at Outcome, we embrace the machine. All of our investment strategies are 100% based on quantifiable logic, statistical analysis of data, and machine learning. This approach has enabled us to generate superior risk-adjusted returns for our clients, and we're confident this will continue to be the case in the future. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about outcome metric asset management and our investment strategies, please visit our website at outcomewm.com, where you can receive our contact information and sign up for our monthly newsletter.